Hello everyone. You may or may not be wondering how this video ended up on your suggestions. Is it YouTube magic? Maybe your curiosity? Perhaps a ninjutsu? A bankai? A breathing technique? Or perhaps even a domain expansion? Well, whatever the case it is more than likely that you're interested in manga and anime in some way, shape, or form. And like you, I am very interested in anime and manga. In fact, I'm so invested that it has become my lifelong journey to become a manga author, or as some might call, a mangaka. It's been many years actually since I first started my venture, and I have to say that it is a very difficult journey. And though I'm not a manga author, or at least not at a professional level, I have learned that there are several paths to get there. And my goal for this channel is to share with you that, or at least what I have learned so far, and to show you how I plan to become a successful manga author in the near future, and what you can learn from my observations. And it's good to start with the basics. What is manga? Why is it so popular? What types of manga are there? What is a successful manga? And what does one person need to do to become a mangaka? And most importantly, why should you care? Manga really is the term for comic books or graphic novels that originated in Japan. And this became more popular towards the end of the 19th century. But the drawing style has deep ties to art in Japan from decades prior. They can be as short as a one-shot, which is basically just a term for a limited story that starts and ends with one single chapter. It can span a few months, maybe a few years, and for some very rare occasions, they can last even a couple of decades. And this is really the first thing that I took into consideration after being completely drawn into the world of manga. And it made me think to myself, do I really want to become a manga author? How does this tie into my life, or at least my daily life, and how long do I want to do this for? For me personally, I know that I'm wanting to create a manga that is slightly long, from the first day to about a couple of years, maybe like 5, maybe up to even 10 years. It really just depends because I have so many ideas, but I also don't want to get too much into that. But I think most importantly, we want to make a story that is going to speak to a broader audience. We want to tell them what our ideal is, what is our fantasy, and how is that going to make a compelling story, right? And while we cannot please everyone and no story is perfect, what is more important is creating a story that is meaningful and allows the audience to see a different perspective, or at least finish it with a specific feeling or emotion. And that's one of the main reasons why manga is well accepted, at least from my point of view. These graphic novels have a different type of story than American comics. Not that one is better than the other, really, but for some reason I just love the flow of the manga storylines, the buildup of the main characters as well as the side characters, because it shows us that the plot is not the main purpose, but rather the journey to get there is what's more important. But these side characters make things, very interesting, right? So you get to see not only what the main character does, but you also get to see, the progress from maybe another character. And pardon my horrible little drawings here, but I do plan to make this a lot better in the future. But going back to, my conversation about a mangaka journey, there are many types of manga, and they're available for really anyone of all ages. There's a giant list and growing subjects within manga, but the most popular, at least that come to mind, are shonen, which is, centers around an audience for boys of youthful age. We also have shoujo, which centers their audience at girls of a young age. And then there's seinen that centers their audience around adult males, or at least ones who want to have a more serious kind of tone. And these are all interesting subjects, and there's no specific type of manga that's better than the other. But this doesn't mean that only the audience can, only that specific audience can like it. And that's the best part. Pretty much anyone who reads these mangas, it doesn't matter what your niche is, anyone can read it and anyone can get invested into it. But what's most important is what I said previously, that we get to experience the journey of our beloved characters. How do they get there? Do they get there through, do they become a ninja through an entrance exam? Do they become a hunter by obtaining a license? Do they get to the One Piece by exploring the world? Those are all interesting perspectives from manga that people come to cherish. So if you followed this video until now and you are certain, as much as I am, that becoming a manga artist or a mangaka is your passion, you're wondering, well, how do I get there? There are a couple of skills that you need to become a successful mangaka. You need to have drawing skills, of course. Don't take my example here, at least not yet. You also have to have writing skills. You also have to have planning skills. But most important, well, actually, you also need to have an experimental mindset. But most importantly, you need to have patience. There are many more sub-skills that I wouldn't have the time to really delve into within this video, just because the purpose of this video is really just an introduction. But it is also helpful to know that some of these skills can be omitted if you partner with another creative person, if that is what you wanted. And some of you may be confident in your abilities. Others may feel that they are kind of struggling, or some may just feel that they don't have any skills at all, but really want to chase their dreams, which is where I used to be at one point in life and still trying to achieve. But wherever you are, do not lose hope. And this may sound pretty cliche, but it doesn't matter how old you are. How unskilled you may feel like. The most important part is really to keep going. Take it from me personally, who initially wanted to start his manga journey roughly 15 years ago. That's like a long time ago in that timeline. But the past year or so, I've really dedicated myself to my craft and I do not plan on quitting. I may be a noob, or a noob-ish, as my name suggests. I'll keep going until my dreams come true, and I hope that you join me on this journey and never be afraid to be a noob. Thanks for joining. If you really like my content, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks so much, and until next time.